I have to, like, it's no offense against the girl, but I'm like, I don't need to like have a mental Rolodex of these broads that all look alike. They all look alike, all right? And then you expect me to know this broad's name? Like, I don't know. When that chick has been around for about 6 to 8 months, then yeah. But right now I'm gonna be like, hey, how you doing? You're okay. How you doing? You're with what's his face? Okay, I'm still pleasant. I'm not gonna be an asshole about it. But like, he was like, well, you just don't. It's like you don't care. I'm like, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm as invested in your relationship as you are invested in your relationship. So I shouldn't have to do that. I really shouldn't. But I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
Well, I've been with my girlfriend, maybe like 18 years now. So
wow.
When I always have to have some type of a hobby because my ADHD is so bad. So it'll be photography and I do art. And then I thought, I'm going to do comedy next because everybody tells me I should. And when I was going out, she's like, go have a good time. Go on. But yeah, I mean, I have to like beg her to come to my show. And even like some of my most exciting times when I've opened for like really awesome lesbian comic or something, like I opened for Dana Goldberg and I'm like, would you please come? And then, she will. But other than that, I don't have to really worry. She doesn't care and she's happy to have the remote in my chair and she's like, go out, now with this quarantine, I'm
right.
Home, but I do work during the day because I work in a restaurant and we're still open, but
that's good.
She works in the hospital. So she's mandated too. But so for me, I've never had, that issue.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm not wishing this on you. I mean this in a
let's
good way.
face it, Rhett, no one's up on stages looking at me like I'm hot. You know what happens? When I walk up on that stage, that whole audience mouth goes, what's this fat old bitch gonna say? And I have to tell you, sometimes it works out for me because I have their attention the minute I get on stage because I'm not like anybody they've seen recently. So I do have to kind of like, once I get up there, I have to get them right away because I think that I'm not typical, I mean, is there any other fat old ladies doing comedy right now that are, not really.
But the thing is that is perfect because you want to be unique. You have to be yourself. Like I do believe like this is one of those things I had to learn from, all my little fits and starts, in that I had to learn to accept myself and to, like, it sounds corny, but it's like, I do believe that there's a certain age that you, as a woman, that you're like, the stuff that would have bothered me back in 98, I don't give a shit about right now. Like, I really don't. And because I don't give a shit about XYZ, that makes me more powerful in what I'm saying. There's a certain, that, and of course, repetition, getting up on stage, going to those shitty bars. Like, it's actually, I remember performing, like, maybe it was like not too long ago, and I remember sometimes some comics would tease me because they'd be like, wow, you just perform any old place, huh? And I'd be like, yes, I do, because that's your battle armor, okay? Like, it's like if you were like a fighter, okay, like a prize fighter, okay, you fight a lot, or you learn and you study and you have different opponents because you want to learn, you want to get better.
Absolutely.
The comics that perform in perfect conditions don't know how to handle it when it's less than perfect.
Exactly.
So, you see them kill if it's like, oh yeah, of course, it's a packed audience. These people paid $30 and it's 200 people. The lighting is perfect. The sound is perfect.
And also, the difference from working in, when I host or if I open for somebody at the big club, I mean, and if it's, a sold out show at that club is 300 people.
Wow.
And those are people that are paying to come and to laugh. And it's so much easier to get laughs there than being in one of those shitty bars.
Yes.
So you have got to work 10 times harder in those shitty bars to get their attention, You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you, when I was just down there in Florida, I had went to my first week I was there. I went to a show. Aaliyah is her name. She's up by Pompano. And Brian, do you know Brian Cornando? Is his name?
Yes. Yeah.
So this was a packed, loud, noisy bar, and a lot of people were going up there, and they were struggling because, and let me tell you, Brian got up there, and I met him 2 years ago. I love that guy. I met him he was running an open mic back then, and he commanded that freaking bar, and he got everybody hysterical laughing. And after his it was just this, little bar show, but I mean, I shouldn't say little, it was packed. And I told him, I said, I was so impressed the way you got up there. And he's like, you know what? He goes, you can come see me tomorrow night. I'll eat shit. And that's why I like him. Because he knew.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat shit tomorrow. Don't you worry. Yeah. But I mean, just to get up there in one of those little bars and command that crowd, like, people don't realize how freaking hard that is.
It is. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. Like, the person that inspires me, it's like it's like everyone has their own like patron saint of whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't throw his name around a lot because I am very like private about this, but like years ago I had met Hannibal Buress, like, Hannibal.
He was just in Buffalo. I never made it to see him, but yes, Hannibal.
He is awesome. And one of the things, like, it was one of those things, like, I did this show, like, in a nutshell. So basically, there was a guy that I knew, Tommy Amato, who I met in Brooklyn when I used to live in Brooklyn. And then Tommy moved to Florida, and I moved to Florida, but we were on the opposite sides of the peninsula. And then we had a mutual friend, Kirkland Meadows, who was friends with Tommy. And Kirkland was like, hey, well, actually, with Kirkland, he has this really high squeaky voice. He was like, hey, so, I don't know, I think Tommy Amato. Tommy, so he's got this show, and I'm going to be headlining. So I wanted to see if you wanted to, like, open for me or something. I was like, yeah, sure. So it was like, what is it? It's not Tampa. It's like Naples. I think it was Naples. Naples is not that far from Marco Island, I think.
No.
Right? Okay,
no.
So it was Naples. So we do this show, this bar show, and then the night was still young, because when you're in Miami, you forget that the rest of the world shuts down at 12 o'clock. Like, it's not like Miami where the party starts at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So I was like, I felt good. I felt amped up and stuff. And at the time, there was this guy, Gene Harding, who now tours with Gary Owens. But Gene Harding was based in Fort Lauderdale at the time, and I was really cool with Gene. And I said, hey, because I saw it on Facebook that he was going to be in the area. I said, Gene, like, where are you exactly? What are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm at Off the Hook Comedy Club. I was like, oh, so, like, who's headline? He was like, Hannibal Buress. I was like, oh my God, I have to go.
Right.
So, like, so me and Kirkland drove, like, from, like, Naples or whatever to Marco Island. It wasn't a crazy long drive. It might have taken us like 25 minutes or something. 20 minutes, because we were lost.
Yeah.
Yes, or whatever. And at that time, I had just found out about Hannibal Buress because I had a day job where I sat at a desk all fucking day. And this is when, like, I think it was like Pandora, they had comedy and stuff.
Yeah.
And Hannibal was the first, him and W. Kamau Bell. They were the two first Black male comics who were young that were doing, like, reasonably clean comedy. Not super clean, but reasonably clean comedy. But it was not the white people do this, Black people do this. Oh, I fucked this fat girl, blah, blah, blah. It was like all that off the wall shit. This is when Hannibal was doing his he kicked a pigeon type of thing, and pickle juice on his sandwich type of thing. Like, very, like, off the wall, observational type of kind of stuff, but weird, like weird shit. So I was like, oh my God, I need to see this. So we get there just in time, because Gene was featuring from. We got there just in time. Hannibal had was on stage already. So what's crazy about it is, like, Off the Hook Comedy Club at that time, it's basically like a oyster bar. Like I had never been to this place before. So they have this raised stage, and there's like nautical shit on stage. There's like, you know, like nets and like crab traps.
Yeah,
and
anchor.
Yeah.
Right.
So
little wooden paddle. I see it.
And then it was not full. I mean, there was people there, but it was not full. And then the thing is, like, you could hear this clanging in the back because these guys were shucking oysters in the back. So you like he's doing jokes and you hear the clank, clank, clank.
Yeah.
Clank, clank, clank. You know, you hear the ice cubes going clank, 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 clank. You know, and that is how I met Hannibal. Like, because of course after the show, I sounded like really dumb. Like I was like, oh my God. Like I was like totally fangirl. I was like, oh my God, I really like he was selling CDs. So he was like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, like your comedy is like so awesome. Like I was trying not to sound like so like that. Like your comedy is so awesome and like so inspiring and stuff. And like like he's such a laid back person. But anyway, that's how I got to know him. And like, you know, of course we're all hanging out at the bar and all that. And so every time he would come into town and stuff, like I would like make sure I got to see him, and I would always get like free tickets. And then it got to the point where he would just hit me up and say, hey, I'm in town. But it would be weird. It would be like, hey, I'm in town. Do you want tickets? And I'd be like, oh, okay. When's the show? Oh, at 8:00. And I'm like, oh, it's 6 now. Like I don't have that kind of life where I can just drop shit and then like zoom over there. But I would do it because it wasn't just like I would watch him work. And then what's fascinating about Hannibal, which I really grew to love and respect, that dude works fucking hard. So the thing is, I remember he did a show, I don't know how many years ago this was, right? It was at FIU, Florida International University, right? Which is the large public university. There's University of Miami and then there's FIU. Mike Epps was the headliner. Hannibal was the feature. And I think like Yanis Pappas was on that bill too, right? So they do this show, which easily has how many thousands of students, right? And Hannibal texts me and he's like, where the mic's at? And I'm like, what do you mean? This dude just performed with Mike Epps and Yanis Pappas in front of how many thousands of people? And a lot of comics would have been like, screw it, I'm going to party, I'm going to get drunk, I'm going to do whatever. Hannibal wanted to know where was the open mic after that show. So I was like, well, I'm actually on my way to this place called Churchill's, which is this like shitty like British thrasher bum bar that's like in Little Haiti. And he was like, text me the address. And so basically his handler from the college drove him to Churchill in fucking Little Haiti, which is like at that time was not gentrified. It's still not gentrified. It was really not gentrified at the time. Dropped him off at the corner and was like, are you sure you're going to be okay? And then, so I was like, okay. And then, so I go and like, this is the type of place, Churchill's at that time, when you went to park your car, there would be these guys in, the neon jackets, like the jackets, but little did you know, unless you got familiar with Churchill's, those guys were all on crack. They were like all crack and meth heads. So basically, they were the parking staff. They weren't staff. They basically were like, hey, you can park over here. Oh yeah, I'll watch your car for like $5. Like, you know, that type of place, like dangerous, sketchy type of shit. And my thing would be like, look, I would always preface it with like, look, I have nothing of value in this 2006 Ford Focus except the baby seat, and my CD changer doesn't even work right. So look, if you're out here, when I'm out here, when I'm ready to leave, we can talk. But of course, everyone would always leave because they were like, oh, that chick must be broke, you know? But I remember going into Churchill's and like one of these comics was like, oh my God, do you know who is here? And I was like, I don't know who's it. Hannibal Buress just showed up at Churchill's. How did he get here? And I was like, I don't, like, I didn't tell anyone. Like, I was like, yeah, because I didn't want to say, yeah, I told him there's an open mic at Churchill's. So it was like, oh my God, he just performed with Mike Epps. How did he get in here? Like, I don't know, he probably walked in like everyone else. So, and then he got up and he performed, and he's like that. So it doesn't matter like how big the show, that dude is still wanting to know, where's the show at? Where's the open mic?
Right.
He's always working, always performing, always whatever. So like, look, like whether or not like people are down with what he